Well, hello and welcome to Daphne V TV. I've got a question for you. What do an egg, a glow stick, and a bath bomb have in common? Well, stick with me over the next few minutes and I'm going to share that with you. And I'm also going to share some, well, sensitive, raw, and real updates. This is a show for chain breakers and wave makers, and I'm certainly going to be making some waves because I have recently broken some chains. Welcome to this special episode. So, what do an egg, a glow stick, and a bath bomb all have in common? I'd love to hear from you in the chats. So go ahead and put your information, put your guesses, your best guesses in there. But when you think about an egg and you think about a glow stick and you think about a bath bomb, what they have in common is that in order for them to truly function in a different way, they each have to first be broken. Think about that for a minute. Picture, if you will, an egg, or maybe you're watching this in the kitchen and you can open up the fridge or the ice box if you're fancy, and look at an egg. Does it really serve a purpose until it's broken? Like, even if you hard boil it, it has to then have the shell broken and has to go through tremendous heat and trauma in order for it to serve its new purpose. Glow sticks, so fun, love them. But just in their original state, they don't perform a function. They have to first be broken in order for their light to shine. And finally, a bath bomb. I love them. And they do no good sitting by the bathtub or in a bathroom drawer where it's safe, hiding from being used. That bath bomb has to be plopped into the hot water and break apart in order to fizz and fulfill its purpose. So I wonder, for those of you who are watching this, have you ever felt broken? And when you did you feel useless? Well, I'm here to tell you, I know that in the words of a popular song by an artist named Plum, you can be beautifully broken. In fact, I'm also here to share with you that last week during the episode, I kind of slipped a little something in there, and it was a reference to a failed marriage. And I thought about that. It was really the first time I'd ever spoken the words. And then I realized it wasn't a failed marriage. It was a marriage that was broken, and I simply took it to the next level. I had lived for years trying to sit on the shelf, trying to fulfill a role, trying to serve others while silently suffering in my own pain. I realized I had to be completely broken in order to serve a new purpose. And I have to share with you that as hard as it was, as many tears as I shed, and I recognize that my entire family has now been upset, if you will, or the dynamics have changed, I am fulfilling a better purpose. I am fulfilling a new purpose. I caught myself today and again a couple days earlier, just smiling for no reason. I just have a peace and a joy about me And that is my greatest hope for you, is that in your brokenness, you can discover the peace and the joy. In fact, my favorite book talks a little bit about this. And it's from Isaiah 61:3. And provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. Now, if you really know me, you know that I did not make my decision lightly. I grew up in the South and as a woman of faith, and there was a tremendous amount of condemnation and shame at even the thought of changing my status, my life, my family's life. And I finally realized that I was living in fear. As I mentioned, my situation was already broken. However, it was comfortable. That glow stick, that bath bomb, that egg, if they had feelings, they would say that they're comfortable the way they are. Are you comfortable the way you are? It may not be your marriage. Maybe it's a job. Maybe it's a financial situation. Maybe it's a relationship of some other kind. But ask yourself, is it already broken? And if so, how can you shine brighter? That doesn't mean working harder. That doesn't mean controlling more. Trust me, been there, done that. What it means is surrendering. Surrendering to what you know that you know needs to be done. Being willing to get in the hot water. Being willing to be completely splayed open and broken. Being willing to have hope and peace and joy in a way you never have before. I simply am here today to encourage you that if there is something that is holding you back, if there is something that has you out of alignment, I want you to give yourself permission to embrace the pain. Allow yourself to fully consider, what would it be like? What do you have to lose? I know that there are going to be some people who comment on this video, and they're going to be all kinds of full of judgment. That's okay. That's not my problem. That's theirs. I also know there are women and maybe some men who will say, right on, sister, good for you for taking care of yourself. I sought counsel. I sought biblical guidance. And I'm here to tell you that in the brokenness, there is beauty. The only way to experience it is to embrace the pain, a new pain, because I know you're already in some form of pain. Are you willing to bet on yourself and to take the risk? That's who I work with. When I talk about chain breakers and wave makers, I'm not saying that every woman I work with is in a bad marriage or a bad relationship. What I'm talking about is I'm working with women who, whatever the chain is, and it needs to be broken, that she is willing to do the work. And when you take up that challenge, when you make that decision, that is when you will start to make waves. And I don't know about you, but whenever I come upon a stagnant pond or stream, that's a sign that something's wrong. Waves let you know that there's life and that there's energy and that there's more to come. So I want to thank you for joining me for this very special episode. I hope that what I have shared today resonates with you in some way, that it maybe gives you the courage to say, hey, I'm going to embrace the pain. I'm giving myself permission to make the change that I need to make in order to have the type of life I deserve to have. So until next time, I want you to remember you can live a well done life. My greatest prayer is that if you are in a broken relationship and it's a marriage, and especially if there are kids, that you two can work it out. That is the ideal. The reality is that doesn't always happen. So what are you willing to do? Are there chains you're willing to break so that you can start making waves? I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. And until next time, remember, you have permission to embrace the pain.